have the seat at the front of your mat. And let's take the opportunity to check in with ourselves. So finding that steady and comfortable seat with the spine straight and aligned, the shoulders relaxed, the eyes closed. Just kind of take a moment, come into your body, like shrink your awareness down from external environment to internal environment. Notice how everything's feeling this morning. Start to deepen the breath. Ujjayi breathing is preferable. Start noticing thoughts, emotions, energy, sense of connection. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. Go ahead and take a moment to set your own personal intention for your practice. When you're clear about your intention, take a deeper breath in. Exhale with a sigh through your mouth. And then open your eyes, relax your arms, and let's come up to standing at the front of the mat. So as you find your Tadasana, with the toes spread and the heels planted and your feet firmly rooted down, just take a moment to let all of your muscles embrace your bones. So you're not trying to create tension, but you are trying to energize and engage and enliven your muscles. So when you feel your legs engage, you'll feel more energy running through them. When you feel your core engage, you'll feel more energy running through your spine and your torso. Same thing with the arms. So just take a moment, try and find that level of engagement. And then inhale and raise your arms up. Spread the fingers if it feels okay. Look up. And let's hold this for a couple of breaths. This is just Bekhasana, which means upward facing hands. On your next exhale, bend your knees, fold forward, relax your neck and hang in ragdoll. See if you can tune in deeply enough to actually feel your spine lengthening every time you breathe out. So the weight of your head, which should be somewhere around 8 pounds, actually draws length into the spine if you relax with every exhale. And then on your next inhale, let's come all the way back up. Reach the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, fingertips all the way down to the mat. Inhale, look up and lengthen halfway. Exhale, back down. You're going to step back with your right leg this morning. So you have a left foot forward lunge and just hold your lunge for a couple of breaths. Now in your lunge, we're going to start to kind of refine this. So depending upon how deep your lunge was to begin with, you might want to just kind of slide your right foot back a little bit. I want you to try and allow your hips to sink as much as possible. And then give yourself this tiny little rocking back and forth. What my hope is that you're feeling this in more than one place. I'd like you to be aware of your left hamstring and your right quadricep and hip flexor. So if the hips are actually surrendering to gravity and that right heel is pressing back to help with this rocking motion, and that left knee is pressing forward to help with this rocking motion, you're feeling this in both legs. Let's go ahead and drop the right knee down, extend your left leg for your hamstring stretch. Flex the ankle and toes, and then try and get your spine to lengthen. So you're kind of pulling your heart forward. Bend your left knee. Bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis back. Let your hips move forward until you feel it on the front of your right hip, right thigh. Bring just the right hand down to the mat. You're going to put your left hand literally on the inside of your left knee. Roll to the outside of the left foot, and then apply a little bit of pressure, waking up inner outer thigh on that left side. Bring the left knee back up so it's pointing at the ceiling. Make sure your left foot is still pointing directly forward. Left hand is going to come down inside your left leg. Come on to the right forearm or a block, maybe the left one as well. Try and keep hips squared off a little bit with the front of the mat. So don't let that left hip start to poke out. Don't let your left leg get lazy and drop open. Kind of pull your left hip back and hug the left thigh in. And then if you would like, you can turn your right toes under and lift that right knee off the ground again. Come back up with your hands on either side of your left foot. There you are, back in that lunge. Step it back to plank position and just hold your plank for a moment. So your shoulders are over your wrists. Your body should be in a straight line. And I'd love for you to feel that same level of engagement that you felt in Tadasana, standing at the front of the mat. This first time down, we'll modify. I want you to drop your knees down, toes stay connected. Torso shifts forward slightly. Chest and chin come to the floor. Your bum is in the air. Your elbows are hugging into your sides. Untuck your toes. Lift your chest a little bit for a nice cobra. Shoulders roll down the back and the heart pulls forward. And then on your next exhale, take your first downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the feet a little bit if you need to. If you need to make some little movements just to get into this first down dog, feel free to do that. But then really focus on lengthening the spine. Take a big step forward with your right foot. So we're just going to hold the lunge for a moment. And then we'll play with it a little bit like we did on the other side. So depending upon how big that step forward was, you might even want to scoot your left foot back a tiny bit. Try and get the hips to drop. In other words, you've got to let go a little bit. And then rock, maybe back and forth a tiny bit. So again, what we're hoping to feel here is more than one sensation. One will most likely be stronger than the other, but you should be feeling the back of the right thigh, front of the left thigh, and hip. Take a couple more breaths here. And then drop your left knee down. Go ahead and extend the right leg completely, flexing the ankle and toes. Trying to get that leg straight. Pull your chest forward. Bend your right knee. Bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis back. Chest is lifting. Hips are moving forward until you start to feel this on the front of that left hip. Bring just your left hand down to the mat. Your right hand is literally going to go on the inside of your right knee. First, you roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Then you start to apply a little bit of pressure with your right hand on that right knee to wake up the inner and outer thighs on this right leg. Let your knee point back up towards the ceiling. The right foot is flat. It's exactly where it was before you started rotating it out. The right hand comes down inside the right foot. Bring the left forearm onto a block or onto the mat. Maybe get the right one to meet it. And then hug your right thigh in towards your torso and kind of pull right hip back, left hip forward. And then if you choose, you can turn left toes under and take that left knee off the ground. We're going to come up with our hands on either side of the right foot and just step forward to our standing forward bend. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up and overhead. Reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. This time, step back with your left foot. Go ahead and spin your heel flat and come up into your warrior two. So just taking a moment to refine your alignment. Try and get your right shin vertical. Right knee should be tracking kind of over that second toe. Torso should be relatively close to vertical. Left leg should be straight. Toes of the left foot are slightly angled in. Arms are out to the side. Gaze is over your right middle finger. We're going to take our right forearm to the right thigh. Reach that left arm up and over for a nice, easy side angle. Come up, keep your right knee bent. Left hand on left thigh, right arm up and over. Reverse your warrior. Come back up and straighten your right leg. Kick your left hip out. We're lengthening the spine to find a nice aligned triangle pose. And I'd like you to really focus on feeling yourself aligning over your right thigh, so not leaning forward. Lengthening the right side of the spine and keeping both legs really straight. So you should feel a little something in your right inner thigh. Come back up into your warrior two. Bend your right knee. You're going to bring both hands down inside your right foot. Slightly angle the right toes in now towards that left upper corner of your mat. Left toes are going to point towards the ceiling. And you're gonna start to let your hips drop to come into Dandasana. Hands can stay on the ground or palms can come together. Your right heel should be flat and you should be feeling this in your left inner thigh. Take 2 more breaths. Hands to the mat and just rotate back around. You'll find yourself in a right foot forward lunge. Step it back to plank. Hold your plank for a moment. Remember, muscles are very engaged. And then let's just flow through a really nice mindful vinyasa. As you exhale, press a little bit with your toes, lower down, elbows hugging sides. It's okay if your knees need to go to the floor. Inhale. Coming into upward facing dog with a slight bend in the elbows to pull forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. From your down dog, step your left foot forward, spin your right heel flat, and come up into warrior 2 on the left. So we're going to try and find those same alignment cues here. Left shin vertical, left outer hip engaged, right foot slightly rotated in, right leg straight, all that good stuff. Your gaze, your drishti, should be over your left middle finger. Let's bring left forearm to left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over, easy side angle. And coming back up, right hand on right thigh, left arm up and over, reverse your warrior. Come all the way back up, straighten your left leg, kick that right hip to the right. We want to really lengthen, lengthen, lengthen in our triangle pose here. Try and keep your left leg totally straight as you find Trikonasana on this side. Keep the alignment of your body over your left leg. Try and keep left side of the spine lengthening. Left leg and right are both straight. Come all the way back up, warrior 2. So both hands come down inside your left foot. You just rotate it in a comfortable degree, kind of towards that right upper corner. Keep your heel flat if you can. Right toes rotate towards the ceiling and you allow your hips to sink. Hands can stay on the ground or they can come to prayer. And then just bring your hands back to the ground, either side of your left foot, rotate around. You'll be in your lunge, step it back to plank, feel your muscles engage. As you exhale, lower down. As you inhale, rise up, upward facing dog. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Lengthen out here. From this down dog, you can either walk or jump forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Turn sideways on your mat, take a nice wide side step. So first we're going to go with toes pointing directly forward. Hinge at your hips. Just grab your elbows and hang for a couple of breaths here. Come back onto your hands and walk your hands over towards your right foot. Try and keep your right leg straight and align your torso over your right thigh. Walk your hands back towards the center and then over to the left foot. Same thing, we want to try and keep left leg straight. Try and align the torso over the left thigh. Bring your hands back to the center. Now, everybody's a little bit different, but if you feel like you can go a little wider with your feet, maybe go wider with the feet, just honor your body. And then if you feel like you can, your hands are going to start reaching behind you through your legs, and you're going to start kind of pulling with your hands. Bring the hands back out in front of you. See if you can take your feet even wider. Just take a couple of breaths. You can either stay on the hands or come onto your forearms, whatever works for you. And then we're going to go ahead and move into Bekhasana, frog pose. So you're going to drop one leg down and immediately get your shin perpendicular to the long side of your mat. Drop the other knee down and do the same thing. You want your knees to stay as wide as possible. If you look behind you, your shins are parallel. Your feet are flexed out to the side. So you have 90 degrees at your ankles, 90 degrees at your knees. You're going to come onto your forearms and push your buns back. So this is a rather exciting groin and inner thigh stretch. And while it may be intense, it should be bearable. You should be able to breathe through it, which is a good thing because we're here for several breaths. So you have to make sure you can breathe. And actually, you shouldn't be on your knees. You should be on the inner thighs. So that's kind of the idea of having the knees really wide. If for any reason it's bothering your knees, please come out of it. Couple more breaths. Come back up onto your hands. Bring your knees together. Reorient yourself on the mat and take a child's pose. That'll kind of shorten up everything you just lengthened. From your child's pose, transition into plank and take a mindful vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, we're going to take a big step forward with our right foot, spin the left heel flat. You are coming back into warrior two. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right thigh and slide your left hand down towards your left ankle. Once you're there, press your right arm completely straight. If you need to, walk your hand higher up the inside of the right thigh. So you're tractioning out right side of your back, right hip, and getting a little stretch in that right inner thigh. Take one more breath here. Come back up into your warrior two. Straighten your right leg. If you feel like you can, scoot your right foot a little farther forward. Kick your hips to the left, lengthen out. We're coming into a really nice deep, deep, deep triangle here. So you've already done a lot of inner thigh opening. This triangle perhaps will feel a little different from your first one. First of all, I've asked you to make it a little deeper. And second of all, you may just feel like you can naturally go deeper. Take one more breath here. And then just bring your left hand down, swivel onto the left toes, step your right foot back to plank, and take your vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, left foot steps forward, right heel flat. And we come up into our warrior two on the left. Left hand goes inside the left thigh. Right hand slides down towards the right ankle. And then we keep that left knee bent and we press the left arm totally straight. If you need to, walk your hand higher up the inside of that left thigh. So now you're tractioning left side of the spine, opening left hip, and a little bit of that left inner thigh. Come back up into your warrior two. Straighten your left leg. If you feel like you can, scoot your left foot forward a little. Kick your hips to the right, lengthen. Let's see if we can find that deeper expression of triangle on this side. Left leg is straight. Spine is lengthening. Go ahead and bring your right hand down. Swivel onto the right toes. This time you're going to step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to be balancing with a leg out to the side. You can grab behind your thigh, you can grab behind your calf, you can grab your foot if you can fully extend your leg, but you're also welcome to use a strap if that's the only way this is going to happen for you. And if your balance is a little wonky, go ahead and put one hand on something so that you can actually achieve the balance. So we're going to stand on the right foot first today. And the best way to begin this is to grab your left thigh, calf, or foot with both hands, however you're going to do that this morning. Extend the leg fully. And then we're going to take the right arm out to the right and take the left leg out to the left. Release, bring your left foot back down, and we'll do the other side. Remember, one side may feel quite different from the other, so just allow for that. So grabbing either right thigh, calf, or foot, or your strap with both hands to begin. Try and get the leg to fully extend. Then take your left arm out to the left, and take your right leg out to the right. Release, bring the right foot back in and down. Turn sideways on your mat. Take a moderately wide step. So not super, super wide, but fairly wide. You need to be wide enough that you can at least get your hands to the ground. So what I want you to do is go ahead and hinge at your hips. Get your hands to the ground. And so you want some distance between your head and the floor. So if your head's touching the floor, your feet are a little bit too wide, you can bring them in. Again, I'm going to have you walk your hands through your legs, like behind you, and pull. While you still have a little traction with your hands and you're pulling, bend your knees a little bit. And I want you to bring your hands to your heels. So if you made your hands like little mittens or lobster claws, they're straight back. Your thumbs are on the insides of your heels and forefingers are on the outside. And you're going to try and get your elbows kind of far back and start straightening the legs again. If you need to walk the feet in a little bit, do that. If you need to walk them out a little bit, do that. But you should start feeling a pretty deep stretch through your hamstrings and inner thighs. Take one more breath. And then come on up from that and just rotate your feet out slightly. So you've got both feet externally rotated. Hands are going to come down to the insides of the thighs. And we're going to lock our arms out nice and straight. Twist and look over your right shoulder, pressing against the inside of the left thigh. Twist and look over your left shoulder, pressing against the inside of the right thigh. And then come back up. Take your feet as wide as you can possibly go. Like truly, don't hold back. Get your hands or your forearms to the ground. Go as wide as you can. And then it's a 2-for-1 day, you guys. Second round, Bakasana, frog pose. You want to get your inner thighs to the ground. Come onto the forearms. Remember, your lower legs are parallel to each other. Your feet are flexed and you're pushing your bum back. Ujjayi breathing is very helpful here. Come back up onto your hands. Bring your knees together. Reorient yourself on your mat, just like we did the first time. Take that child's pose and take a couple of breaths. From here, take it into plank and find your way through your breath-initiated vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, I'm going to have you step your left foot forward. And here's what we're going to do. So we're just going to play with this a little bit. Your body's warmed up and ready for it. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. None of that really matters. Here's what I want you to do. You're going to bring your left hand underneath your left leg and plant the hand firmly right outside your left foot. Then I want you to spin your right heel flat like you would for a warrior two. Your right hand's going to raise off the ground. Maybe if you're feeling it, you can pick your left foot up with your right hand. And if you feel like you can, you begin to extend that left leg. Bring it back down, unwind, step straight back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. So again, just play with it. Think of this as recess, right? Right hand is going to reach under your right leg and you plant your right hand. Your left heel spins flat, just like you would for warrior two. Put some weight on your right hand, take your left hand off the ground. If you can, you're going to pick your right foot up with your left hand. Maybe begin to extend the right leg. Bring it all back down. Step it back to downward facing dog stretch. And then shift into plank and take your final vinyasa for this practice. Once you've had a moment to really lengthen out of your down dog, you're going to drop to your knees. I want you to take your right leg out to the right with your foot flat. Slide your foot up towards your right shoulder. And then reach your left arm underneath for that nice tripod variation of threading the needle. So if you feel like you can, your right arm goes up. I'm just going to roll your chest open for a moment. Go ahead and come out of that. Hands and knees. Left leg extends out to the left. It slides up towards your left shoulder. Left foot is flat. Left leg is straight. Right arm reaches underneath for your little tripod variation of threading the needle. Left arm should be able to reach up towards the ceiling, and you should be able to roll your heart open. Come out of that, hands and knees. Give your tail a little wag if you would like. And then you can just swivel your legs around to the front and extend them out for Dandasana, staff pose. And I'd like for you to just pause here with your legs very active. It's that same engagement that we've been talking about. Core is engaged, so your spine is straight. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Inhale the arms up, and as you exhale, lengthen out over both legs. Please keep them very active. Come on up from that and take your legs into a wide V, making absolutely sure that you're on your sit bones. And that might involve using your hands behind you to keep your pelvis in the correct position. So if you need to do that, that's fine. Legs are active, feet are flexed, toes point straight up. Now, if you're able to maintain this posture on your sit bones without having your hands behind you, then you can bring your hands in front of you and begin to lengthen your torso forward. Keep those legs active. So your inner thighs are pretty primed for this. We're just going to take 4 slow, deep breaths here. Just let your breath carry your torso down. And it doesn't matter how far you get. Walk your hands back up. Keep the knees wide, but just bring the soles of the feet together. Hands are right behind your backside for that nice straight spine. The knees press out to the side and then down towards the floor. And then I'm going to have you keep your right knee bent. Your left leg is going to extend out. Lean out over your left leg. So from here, if grabbing the foot and extending it when I had you in a standing position didn't work so well, this is a nice place to play with that variation. And I'm going to let you kind of play with your leg position. So what we'll be doing, and we'll just try it both ways all together. Left hand on the ground, right hand reaches for your left thigh, calf, or foot, and you lift it, kind of like we did when we were playing on all fours, right? Now, if that feels pretty good, and this is kind of like hitting your limit, that's it. If you like, you can put that leg back down and bring the right foot flat and open it out a little bit. Now you're going to see more of that inner thigh separation. And again, you can grab left thigh, calf, or foot with your right hand. Left hand stays on the ground, and we raise that leg up. Take another breath. Just do your best. Remember, we're playing. And release. Extend your right leg. Give both legs a good wiggle. We'll keep the right leg straight. Bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Lean out over your right leg a moment. So same thing here, just kind of experiment, right? Keep your left knee bent this first time. Right hand goes to the ground. That helps you balance. Left hand grabs whatever you can reach on your right leg or foot. And I just want you to see, can you lift your right leg up off the ground? So you don't have to really do anything with it. If you're super flexible, you can start to roll open, but we're just beginning today. So if you can, you raise the leg and then lower it back down. If that's working for you, you can stick with that. If you want to try the second version, the left foot comes flat, your left knee points to the ceiling, but you walk it out. So now you're starting to feel that inner thigh again, right? Right hand is on the ground for balance. Left hand grabs something on that right side, and you lift it up. Right leg lifts. And then bring it back down. Extend your left leg out. Give both legs a good wiggle. And then just like that, you're gonna roll onto your back, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. Now from here, I want you to bring the soles of your feet together, but you've got your hands on the outside edges of your feet with your knees bent. Without letting go of your foot, to try and extend your right leg out to the right. If it doesn't go all the way straight, that's fine. Bring it in, left leg out to the left. Same thing, if it doesn't go straight, that's fine. Bring it in, now hang on to both feet. Take them into a wide V. Slide your hands around to the inside edges of your feet and just transition this straight into a traditional dead bug. But I want you to really try and widen the knees. So you'll notice it's almost like doing frog in the air, except it's a dead bug. Keep those knees wide and you're applying pressure on the feet. One more breath here. And release. Hug your knees in and rock side to side. So we're going to keep the left knee hugged in and extend the right leg all the way out onto the ground. And just transition this into a twist. If you need to modify, both knees can be bent. Otherwise, left knee either just comes over the right leg or you can hook the toes inside your right knee or thigh. Your left arm is going to open out to the left. And if you can, your head will turn to the left. And you start to relax and breathe. Two more breaths here. On your next inhale, you're going to come back up. As you exhale, hug your left knee in. Go ahead and bring that right knee up to meet it. Rock side to side if you would like, and then keep your right knee hugged in. Left leg extends out onto the ground. And then we transition into our twist. So again, you can just take the right knee across the body with the right arm out, or you can hook your toes inside or behind that left knee or thigh. Head should turn to the right. And then we just tune into our breathing and begin to relax. 2 more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, hug the right knee in. Bring your left knee up to meet it. Rock side to side. And then place your feet on the mat with your feet together, knees bent. We're going to do our legs like butterfly wings in time to our breath today. So as you exhale, the knees drop open, soles of the feet together. As you inhale, the knees come back up and touch, pointing at the ceiling. Exhale, it's like you're opening your wings. Inhale, it's like you're folding them back up. The next time that your knees drop open, let them stay there. And then we'll just lengthen the low back here. So on your next inhale, you're going to flatten your low back. You're pressing the lumbar spine into the mat, keeping the knees wide and relaxed. It's just this tilt of the pelvis. Then on your next exhale, you can just release that. Everything relaxes. That natural arch in the low back returns. One more time. Inhale, flatten the lumbar spine, tilt the pelvis back. And on your next exhale, release. Begin to extend your legs. Separate your feet a little or a lot. And it may feel different after all your inner thigh work today. Your legs might actually want to be closer together than they usually are. You'll just have to see. But be curious and mindful so that your body actually goes where it wants to this morning. Lengthen the spine. Relax the shoulders. Let those arms be down below the height of the shoulders. See if you're comfortable with your palms facing skyward. Relax your jaw. Close your eyes, soften all the muscles in the face. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Allow your body to just nestle downward and completely relax in Shavasana. As everything relaxes, which includes your breath and even your mind, I'd like you to bring your awareness to the space between your navel and your pubic bone. So the midpoint of the lower abdomen. Almost in front of the bladder. This is Tadasana chakra, the second chakra. If you imagined 2 funnels with their narrow ends connected at your spine, pointing forward and backward, that would be kind of what your energy centers would look like if you could see them. So you would have one funnel pointing towards your mat and one funnel pointing towards the ceiling. A couple of inches below your navel. The color associated with this energy center is orange. And there's a seed sound or seed mantra, Bija mantra, associated with it, and it's VAM, spelled V-A-M, but pronounced as though it were a short U, VAM. For the next couple of minutes, if you can, I'd like you to keep your attention in this area, imagining that two-sided orange funnel, but paying more attention to the front side where your bladder is. Imagining that orange color and perhaps giving your mind the task of internally vibrating the syllable VAM. So in your mind, you're simply repeating VAM, VAM, VAM. Observe whether or not you were able to maintain concentration with the syllable VAM. If you were able to maintain focus on Svadhisthana chakra and its orange color in front and behind the bladder. Notice if that was easy or challenging, comfortable or uncomfortable. And don't judge, simply notice. And then just let go of the syllable, let go of any imagery that you've maintained. Start to feel into the rest of your body. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to move your fingers and toes. When you're ready, take a big inhale. Spread your fingers and toes and then exhale and relax them. Take an even deeper breath in and stretch. And exhale and relax. Hug your knees into your chest. Go ahead and roll to your right side. When you're ready, use your left hand in front of your chest and press up into sitting. So as you come to your seated position today, if it's comfortable for you, we're just going to do a Venus lock. Your left hand, you're going to interlace your fingers, but I want you to do it so that your left thumb is on top. So if you interlace and you normally feel more comfortable with your right thumb on top, just do it with your left thumb on top. Let your hands just rest in your lap, very relaxed. So your elbows are by your sides, and this Venus lock just rests in your lap. Your spine is straight. Your head is balanced on top of your spine. Your eyes are closed. You'll notice that if you've relaxed your hands into your lap, they are in front of your second chakra. All I want you to do, no particular control of the breath today. I just want you to notice how when you inhale and exhale, you can feel it behind your hands here. I want you to notice if you can feel it on your bladder. And if you've already had coffee and you're needing to go to the restroom post practice, it's perfect. It will give you more awareness and sensation in that area. And if you're just allowing your breath to do what it does, there should be a really subtle sensation. But you're already cued in to focusing on this area. Your hands are there as a reminder. Just feel how the breath moves in and out around that area. Slowly allow your palms to come together in front of your heart. So if the idea of chakras or energy centers is a little foreign or odd to you, remember that they are simply concepts that can be useful. In the same way that we think about our brains or minds as having an ego and an id. If you cut your head open, there is no ego and id in there, but they're very useful concepts. Well, it's the same with the chakras and the energy centers. So they're useful concepts. And so we use these to help us tune in not only to certain areas of our bodies, but certain energies and certain qualities. So just taking a moment in gratitude for the ancient yogis that were given this information in meditation, that have passed it down through generations and generations and generations, through lineages, so that we can actually benefit from these things right now, right here, today, this morning, this practice. Just take a moment in gratitude for that. Gratitude for the breath that you're breathing. Gratitude for the life that you're living. And take one more huge inhale. Exhale with a happy sigh. We bring our palms together in front of our foreheads, and this just reminds us to be present, to pay attention, to be right here, right now. We bring our palms together in front of our mouths, and it reminds us to speak our truth. And we bring our palms together in front of our hearts. This is a reminder to keep our hearts open, to practice kindness, compassion, and love, and to make sure that we include ourselves in that. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Namaste.